We're going to go over the assignments. Going to want to hear from you guys. You're going to be in the hot seat, lovingly so. And no, I think it's really wonderful. Those of you who feel you can share, you want to share your letters, you want to share, it elevates all of us to hear each other's points of view and what we believe is possible. And then as a collective, it makes it more likely to happen as we raise that energy. And then we're going to do another meditation, attuning specifically to love. There's a reflection, go over the other assignments. I have a double duty on the attunement to love. They're similar but different. And then we'll break. And then we're going to do a 1 to 10 scale, see where you are. I have some touch points that we want to look at, and then we're going to talk about the assignments for next week. So let's get to it. Yay! All right. So this was the assignment. A letter, a juicy, delicious, yum, yum, yum letter that you're going to hear from your beloved or whatever category you're in for what you need in your space. Maybe it's just a really great friend who does fun things to you. Who knows? But I want to hear how that went for you. And by the way, let me make sure I have my chat room up so I can see it. Chat, where are you? There you are. Thank you, Deja. Start to record. Thank you. And by the way, some of you guys, you know, when you do point out different things like editing errors, that's actually helpful because all this will be edited at the end and corrected. So if I've missed something, I do appreciate when you point it out. So I think I mentioned my story last week that the first time I did this, I wrote some juicy stuff. It was good. It was really good. You know, why not? And then when that next partner came in, it was really quite remarkable that it sounded a lot like what I wrote, pretty darn close. And I don't understand how everything always works, but I thought it was remarkable. So who's got the courage to share your letter? Well, let's not all jump at once. Come on. You can do it.
I'll do it. This is Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl, hello. Okay.
So I'm going to share the letter because for two reasons. One is because I'm stepping outside my comfort zone. I've been trying for a long time, so this is huge for me. Another, I'm putting it out there because let's do it. Let's bring it on, right? So I crafted a letter. It's not too long, but I kind of just did whatever came to me. I didn't try to overthink. I just kind of let it go. Okay? Ready, class? Okay. Sweetheart Cheryl, where do I begin? I have so many things to say and share with you. You have made my world so much brighter. It is so full of love now. I never dreamed it could be this perfect. I love you and how you make me laugh and how we are silly and playful together. You're my partner in crime, haha. I've never met a woman who can be as open and honest as you are. I trust and love you with all my heart. When we're together, I can feel I can be my true and total self as you can be with me. I accept you as you are, and I fully love you. When I look at you in a room full of people, you are all I can see. You're so beautiful and sexy to me. You make my heart skip a beat when you come into a room. Yes, I love and adore you that much. And when our eyes lock, time stands still, and you're all I see.
Nice.
And when we do, we know what each other's thinking. I want you to know I will always protect and take care of you. It is my privilege and desire to keep you safe and loved. You will never have to worry about that ever. I am here for you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm excited about our future together. You're my best friend, lover, playmate, counselor, as I am yours. Thank you, God, for bringing us together. What a great life we have together. All my love, always your future, or no, me, your soulmate. Thank you very much, class.
Wow.
He adores me.
I love it.
Thank
That's so
you.
beautiful, Cheryl. I mean, and you've
Thank
really
you.
embraced it. And so it really encompasses everything that you feel you need.
Mm,
And that would be a great, fulfilling relationship for you.
yes,
I don't think you missed a thing.
I don't think so.
So, and did you do the part where you placed your hand on your heart and did you take it in and really feel
Yes,
everything you wrote?
yes. And at night, I kind of feel him beside me. I've been working on feeling him beside me, reaching.
Girl,
Yeah,
really? Feel
yes.
him beside you? Say more. Just
Yes,
kidding.
yes, I do. I
Good,
do. Not always, but when it comes in, I am embracing. I'm like, oh, and then I just feel happy,
good,
just so happy, full of love.
good.
Yes, thank
Right
you.
on, sister. You did it.
Thanks. Thank
Thank
you.
you. That's great. So let's see. Um, um, Jackie says mine was pretty similar. Joanne says just beautiful. Deja, that was so very beautiful. Thank you for sharing. It included many more elements than mine. So, Dej, is this a competition of some sort? Hmm.
No, not a competition, but I'm so happy that Cheryl shared her letter. Mine was more concentrating on the acceptance of me as I am now. And I guess that speaks to the voices that want to judge, that where I judge myself for the quarantine 15. And so my letter centered around love you just as you are and other things. But to me, Cheryl's was like 360 degrees. I love it.
So, would you be willing to share just a couple sentences?
Of course, of course. Should I share all of it?
If you like, I just don't want to make you do it if there's some resistance. I just kind of want to track your process a teeny bit.
Okay. Dearest, most beloved Deja, you are the love of my life. You are the light of my life. I cherish the day I met you, for since that moment, my life has soared to new depths and dimensions of joy and happiness and purpose. Please still the inner voices that critique your weight and demean you in any way. I love and adore you just as you are. No conditions, no corrections. I love everything about you, everything, including your ongoing quest to better yourself in any way. I support you on your journey in this life, and I will do anything for you, dear Deja, my Deja, God's beloved Deja. Please know that I cherish you, everything about you. Your heart is safe with me. I will never do anything to harm you and will always have your highest interest foremost in my mind and heart and life. I adore you, baby, now and forever, unconditionally and with all of me. Infinite love, me.
Wow. Well, that was powerful in a different way.
Can
And
I share that what I felt at the end of writing this and the exercise was energy? And I think this letter birthed an energy that is going to attract this energy to me.
yes, well, and that's what we're going to attract to us where we're vibrating, what we need to grow and evolve. We're going to attract that to us. And it's clear. Um, I think the more we can see our status by the words and the language we use, which I think you have a lot of insight about that, then we're all works in progress, all of us. And so just being able to be real with that is the name of the game. And we're going to talk next week far more about some healing propositions, things we might be able to embrace but it sounds like your partner, you're looking for a joint healing experience of some sort. Well, that was my initial reaction. Maybe that's not true, and you don't have to claim that if it doesn't resonate. But I thought it was beautiful, and I love how vulnerable you are, always have.
Thank you.
And did you place your hand on your heart and allow all
did.
that unconditional support to sink in?
Absolutely. It felt so good. Oh, by the way, it made me cry.
I love it.
It was so intense and so loving. It made me cry. Mm-hmm.
Good. Tears are good. Release, cleanse, good stuff. Okay, so yeah, Joanne, wow. Elizabeth, profound. Hearing, let's see, Jackie, higher vibration. So I don't know if you're talking to me or her, but good. Anybody else? You want to put it out into the world? Do you want to share it? Oh, Anel, thank you.
I would like to read mine.
Who said that?
That's Tracy.
Oh, Tracy. All right. So Tracy, you'll go, and then Anel, you'll go, because Tracy's on the phone. And go for it. Lovely.
Perhaps it was the glare that kept the others from seeing your beauty, but I can't help from staring. I know the trip that you took with your family, your ex-husband, and your guy friend that left you stranded. But what you didn't know, that I too had taken that same trip in search of you. I packed for the trip and I came prepared. I packed commitment, loyalty, friendship, spirituality, love, kindness, giving, peace, freedom, light, abundance, smiles. Oh, and I didn't forget grace and mercy for those days when what I packed may not be enough. But whatever you do, don't leave the island. I'm here for you.
Wow, I'm getting overwhelmed. I mean, this is, you guys are, it's so beautiful to see this. Did you take that in, Tracy? Did you have your hand on your heart? Did you really own that for yourself?
I did, and it took me a while to write that. And like Dee, I actually teared up as I wrote it. And it took me some practice to read it without crying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it really is a testament to how hungry we are. And I think so many of us, myself included, at different times, we've settled or accommodated or tried to accept something that didn't really match, and because we want the connection, and then we feel these vacancies, and then when you really own it, it's profound. And it's not just the vacancy, but it's the acknowledgement of something truly beautiful and expansive that will really uplift your life. And they're out there. Those great men are out there in hordes. So I'm glad that you can be so open in that way and clear. And how do you feel about it now?
Waiting.
Okay.
Waiting.
Okay.
I'm hopeful. I'm waiting.
Good.
I think the other pieces and the assignments that you had us do and think about that we may get to later,
Yes.
In the class made me take even a deeper dive.
Good. Well, that's what we're doing. We're getting closer and closer to our vision and our dream for ourselves. That's pretty much the whole process. And yes, but thank you for that beautiful sharing. And thank you for unmuting. I didn't know you knew how, so that's awesome. Let's see. So beautiful. Tracy, hearing it made me tear up. And Joanne, if there's time, I'll read mine. Yeah, well, there's time. Anel, where are you, love? Hello, Anel. Hello. You're
Got it unmuted.
Okay, hi.
Hi. My dearest darling Anel, I love hearing and saying your name, Anel. It rings with a strong, clear vibration of strength and grace. My heart swells with the delight and joy you have added to my life. I believe our human lives have been destined to connect, to unite our soulful bliss of relationship. You are a remarkable woman. Being with you is so easy. Our conversations are engaging, and I so enjoy them. I appreciate the variety of things we talk about, from gardening, travel planning, dinner plans, to our deep and rich spiritual discussions. I also enjoy the comfort of being with you in silence. I take delight in the many forms of play we continue to find and explore. Your laughter is music to my ears. I admire and so appreciate your relationship with photography and nature. I'm inspired and touched by the beauty you see and the oneness of connection you explore through your eyes and senses. Looking at your photography moves and uplifts me in ways I could not have imagined before meeting you. I'm here for you to play, to listen, to hold, comfort, and soothe, and to stand by you in your strength and power. I admire both your strength and clarity of intentions, as well as your vulnerability. There's so many things I love and appreciate about you, and these are only a few. I am blessed and honored to spend time together and enjoy how we both treasure the moments of our lives together in deep devotion and appreciation.
Wow. Okay, so you want a king. All right. Queen Annelle has determined she wants a king. Okay, I love it.
Why do you describe it as a king?
Because from my point of view, when I hear some of the statements of devotion and him really seeing you and being present on so many different levels, that is a king. It's a grown, mature man who has enough awareness to hold you in all these different ways and understand the depth and breadth of you, essentially. And, you know, it just felt like a king. It's like she was a king.
I just hadn't heard it described as a king, but I like that definition.
So,
Yeah.
and did you take it in after you read it to yourself? Did you let yourself have it?
Quite honestly, I don't think I did. I wrote it right after our class, and then I didn't really look at it till yesterday again. And because I've been just battling with the word love, period. And my process was a lot around that. I thought, if you ask me to feel joy, compassion, love, I can't. Joy, I can. But when I go and say, feel love, it's like the word God used to be to me. It's like I needed to find. And so anyway, that's been part of my process. But I love reading this letter and having it witnessed and feeling it more now.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Let's see. Annelle, you're going to have to bring this man on camera when he arrives so we can meet. Joanne, let's hear what you got, girl.
Okay. All right, so I wrote mine right before I went down for bed, and I just thought, okay, I'm just going to do it right now. So I just put it in my notes right before bed.
Okay.
This is what I came up with. Dear Joanne, I never thought I'd be able to love again until I met you. Thank you for coming into my life and making me the happiest man in the world. In return, I promise to give you happiness, love, respect, laughter, adventure, fun, and the time of your life. You can trust me, feel safe, and I will take care of you and wrap you in my strong arms and kiss you like it's your last first kiss.
Whoa.
I will treat you like you've always deserved to be treated and love you with all my heart and never take you for granted. I hope the love I have for you gives you the courage to be better than you are, not less than you are, and makes you feel like anything is possible. I want you to know that you can have that, and you don't have to hold out for it anymore because I'm here. I will make you feel like you matter and make a difference because you do. I love you always and forever. Oh, and P.S. Don't worry, I will never buy you red roses. I hate red roses. There's a story behind that. And my ex used to always get me red roses, even though I told him I hate red roses.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
Well, I had a visceral reaction to your letter, and it's a lot of feeling and sensory stuff going on there. So I like that. And have you taken it in since you drifted off with these thoughts? I mean, is it part of an awareness for you now?
I think I have to work on that more, Phyllis. I mean, right before I went to bed, which is a good thing for me because I sleep with it, kind of. But I haven't really been reading it. So.
Okay. Well, and you don't have to. There's not a right or wrong. I just think this moment when we connect to what we truly want and what would truly cause us to feel soothed and embraced is important. It's important. And I think in this type of a process, it's the nuance of how we shift our energy around that causes something to come in and change. So good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Beautiful, Joanne. Wow. Oh, Imelda, yes, please share.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can. Hello, hello.
I'm working on the second assignment too. I'm trying to get out, and my first instinct would be to just hide in the corner and not say anything. So I'm doing two things at once right now.
Okay.
So, okay. My dearest Imelda, I can't believe that I have finally found you. I knew right away you were the one. It felt like we had known each other forever, like somehow I had experienced your love and energy before and had been waiting for the opportunity to experience it again with you. It feels like home when I'm with you. I can't explain it. I just know that I love you so much. You are the most beautiful woman that I have ever known. I won't hurt you. You will always be safe with me. I will do my best to make you happy. I will be honest and faithful. I will be supportive and loving. I will be the one you know you can trust to be reliable and considerate. I will always be there for you no matter what. You don't have to be afraid anymore. Let me take care of you like you have for others. I know you keep your word, so know you have my word. I want to build a life with you and experience all of the beauty and wonders that we can in this lifetime. You are my one and only true love. I love you dearly, always and forever.
Wow. It sounded like wedding vows. Wow.
Good.
Do you want to get married?
Yes, I do.
Well, you're on your way, girl. You're on your way. That was so beautiful and vulnerable, and that's true for everyone here, but there's different elements that show different kinds of vulnerability, and I really appreciate that on a lot of levels. So, and I know you're still working on some of the things, but are you really taking it in with those wedding vows you just wrote? That's what they sounded like to me, wedding vows. Did I misread that, or is it just a coincidence that?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I thought that when I read it back to myself, and when I signed it, it said your loving husband.
Well, there you go.
So,
I mean, and I love that your awareness is such that that's the mindset or the energy that you are working with in this process. Awesome. All right. Great job. Thank you. Good. Well, anybody else want to put it out there? You don't have to, but I'm going to move on unless somebody raises their hand or chats in some kind of sort of way. All right. Well, and so I just think in a group dynamic, even Zoom, when we connect like this with one another and hear these deepest, most vulnerable visions and aspirations, it raises the vibration. It makes it more likely for it to happen. So thank you guys. Here we go. So this is going the next step. I got to move the participants out of the way. Sorry. Let's take a moment to think about these questions. Can you imagine love realized in your life? What gets in the way of being able to know that outcome can be yours? And then I have some suggestions here if doubt becomes part of your process. So I'm just going to talk about that momentarily while you ponder some of those two questions. If we can't imagine or know, for me, it's more of a knowing it's going to happen. I don't know exactly when or if. It's not an if, it's a when. I can feel it, like some of you have said as much. I can feel it, it's there. If we can't imagine it, there's usually some type of healing. So I have the little hands with the energy, that's my representation of healing, that we need to address something that's getting in the way of that knowing that it's available to us. You know, anything that says there's a limitation, all the good ones are taken, there's scarcity around how many there are, or, you know, I'm too much of this, I'm not enough of that. That's healing work. That's stuff we want to move the needle on a bit. If it's just, you know, I haven't done it in a long time, I've been single for, you know, 10, 20, 30 years, whatever the number is, then it might just be practice, getting in shape, getting used to flexing in outer community. So that's a vision board. That's vision board stuff. Not, you don't have to. In Catherine's book, she endorses doing vision boards. I think they can be useful if we're out of practice identifying with what romance and love can feel like. So I know even in classes I've taught in person, people have created a vision board that showed, well, this is what it looks like to me. We have a house, or we travel, or there's jewelry, or there's no jewelry, or there's roses or no roses. But, you know, kind of representing the feelings that your life might have through pictures. I mean, so there's the healing piece, and then there's the toolbox piece. How do I orient to get used to the idea of being in partnership again? And then, of course, never let you down, spiritual study. If we are, and spiritual study isn't necessarily the exact word I would use. It's more expanding awareness through spiritual depth. Because most of us have plenty of to-dos. I mean, there's 18,000 love coaches out there, you know, in one city. Okay, they're everywhere telling us what we need to do and how we need to do it and what the rules are and what the steps are. So we know all that stuff, but do we know how to receive? Do we know how to remove our own limited thought patterns? Do we know how to work our energy so that we can be good receivers? So those are, and then the last one, of course, is support. Sometimes we just need support. We can't do it on our own. I certainly can't. I couldn't get through any of this stuff if I didn't have people with their hands on my back going, come on, keep going forward, right? So all this being said, where are you guys on the can you imagine it? Or are you like, no, I can't, I'm too hurt. It's just been too many punches in the stomach. I don't know. Maybe it's a big question mark, but I'd like to take your temperature on that. Susie, I feel as though I know it is there, but I also know I have to walk away from this situation first. So you're currently in a situation and it's causing so much heartache. Well, absolutely. Got to separate from toxicity if that's what it indeed is. And although I keep moving closer and closer to be able to see the truth of what is in front of me, and this part is where I need support to walk away. You know what I'd like to say, Susie, is yes, we do need to protect when the blows keep coming, for sure. So walking away, but you're also walking towards something. You know, you're walking toward a healthier situation. So it's not one or the other. And sometimes it's day by day, it's moment by moment. It's like, can I get through the next 45 seconds? Yeah, that's what we do. Jackie, yes, too many punches in the stomach, face, etc. So Jackie, love, are you doing the healing piece? That's something you're going to want to consider because you're beat up and you're conditioned to associate being in love with being in pain on some level. So, and then you're telling me I'm trying to let go of the past. So it's not exactly a trying thing, it's an allowing thing. So I think you, me, we are going to want to dig a little deeper on those attachments to discomfort and see what it's teaching you about you. And experience is for who we become, not the experience. And so if we understand why, and the value of an experience, no matter how heinous, we're going to absorb the food of life, the divine food of life that exists in that, and be able to move forward in a better state of being. So I would hope that you would give yourself permission to finish grieving and give yourself permission to rise into your divine feminine and strength so that you can have the life, you know. And I know it's simple to say, not always easy to do, and sometimes it's a process. But I encourage you, and if it were me, Jackie, I would be leaning towards the spiritual study piece and maybe a little bit of the sparkly in the hands, the healing stuff. But lean into the greater perspective that all experiences are divine food of life. And how do I mine the gold from that so that I can see it as such? It's no longer a punch in the gut. It's a gift from the universe disguised. What's that old saying? What others mean for your harm, God means for your good. Let's start with that. Deej, I can definitely imagine it. The biggest block right now is the limitations. Oh, Oprah, you're going to get me started. Don't get me started. You're going to get me started. Limitation. There's always roadblocks in life of an external nature. But I would lean away from the idea that something outside of us has to influence our inner process and what we're able to create. And, you know, I always say that you guys can disagree with me. It's fine. It's totally fine. My contentment doesn't live in the White House. My contentment doesn't live in yes or no to the pandemic. That's not where my power comes from. And I can tell you, I've had a great financial year. I've had a great love life year, 2020 and moving into 20. I mean, I don't see it as a limitation. So I would encourage you to explore that idea of limitation and how you align with it. And I told you not to get me started. Told you. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Barry, right now, I can't imagine it happening in this house, clutter and roommates. Damn it. That sucks. So that might fall under the category of vision board, meaning tools and processes so that you can become functional. And, you know, you think about college kids who share dorms and they have a system like a sign on the door or 3 knocks. I mean, you're grown. You guys should be able, I would think, to work something out.
It's still it's an energetic and privacy thing. It's more about it's you can't close a door and and think that that's private.
So maybe the other person's space, but if you can begin to just imagine, not know how it's going to happen or how you're going to get there, but just imagine it, play in the energy. Well, I have no friggin' idea how it can happen, but in a perfect world, I would go to my partner's house, we'd play for a while or go to dinner, whatever, or come home, and we have a space. Or, you know, suddenly there's a room available somewhere that's $5 a month. I'm not telling you to go to a hotel and where prostitutes go. I'm saying imagine what's possible, or not even possible, just imagine like you're making a movie. Just play in the energy is what I'm suggesting.
Well, I can't imagine living together with somebody.
You can?
Yeah, just not here is what I'm.
Well, reject this if you need to, but my point of view about that would be sometimes partnerships help move us along, whether it's career, health, whatever. They help us, the support. So I would like you to at least stay open to the idea that a partner could come in and you guys could facilitate the changes that would provide more closeness and companionship with or without a move.
Oh, I'm open to that big time.
Cool. So you can imagine it.
Well, yeah, but that's just a yeah, but I'm sorry.
And that's the point. We just want to be open without any qualifiers. Well, I'm open. I don't know how. Don't know why.
I don't know.
Don't know
I
when.
don't know how.
Yeah, and that's okay. We don't have to know how. That's divine. That's where the divine comes in. We just have to be receivers. And if we can become receivers, we can let the other stuff go and just practice receiving. And there's a whole lot out there, tons. So thank you, Barry. Elizabeth, I've been surprised to notice since I've been doing this energy work how closed down I am to men I would find attractive if I were open. Yep. It is surprising. It is surprising. When you're shut down and closed down, you're like, oh my gosh, maybe there's only one out there for me. And then when you open up, you're like, whoa, there's 10 and they're all attractive. So good. Yep. And I think the other piece to that, Elizabeth, is why am I closed down? What's caused that? And I'm sure we'll get to that. Sonia, I can imagine the love, but have a hard time knowing it can be mine. So, yeah. And I know you all have to know already, you're already into the healing piece, and you're doing the vision board logistical piece, and you're working the spiritual study. You know, you're young. That's part of it. You know, some of these things I talk about, you know, I'm way older than you. It's like I've had a lot more practice. I've bumped up a lot against a lot more walls and got back on my feet. So I've been able to do the trial and error and understand some things. So it takes what it takes, but it's not always a time issue. It's a balance of energy issue. So, you know, just keep kind of like with Barry, you guys are in that similar place. It's kind of like you can't always know how it's going to come, but just practice trusting and knowing it will. I mean, just practice that. And sometimes substituting. Like sometimes people, if they haven't had a relationship in a long time, well, do you have a dog? You have a cat? You know how to love, and love is love. And so generate that feeling of love, whether it's a friend, a family member, whomever, and sit with it and say, well, love is present. You know, love is present, and then continue to be a receiver. Susie, thank you for the reframe, a free frame of not walking away, but rather walking towards something. I went away from anger to tears. I went from anger, which are needed. Yes. Let it flow. Thanks. Imelda, I can imagine it, feel it, and I'm aware of some of what is stopping me. Excellent. From having love. I'm struggling with practicing self-love and receiving. And because Imelda, I have to know more on that. Can unmute. Why? What's wrong? Why is self-love hard for you?
I know where it stems from. I know it's from my childhood, not always feeling that I was loved by my parents.
Okay.
So I always feel like I have to earn it.
Ah.
So when there's a guy that wants to do something for me, I push them away by saying, "Oh, no, it's okay. I don't need your help," or I can do it. I even the simplest thing, like I'll go to a home improvement store and there's a big box that I'm trying to load into the car, even just receiving someone's help and allowing someone to help me to do those things or help take care of something, I find myself like refusing people's help, and in doing that, I feel like I'm I don't know the word, not allowing people to help me because I feel like I'm not worthy, or
Well, you know,
like,
thank you. I think you have your next workable step is to work against that pattern of not allowing. And, you know, I've told a story many, many times. I won't give the whole story, but it centers around receiving help. It was probably 13, 14 years ago, needing financial help for a variety of reasons, and it was humiliating to me. I thought, oh my God, I'm humiliated. I'm not getting it right. Something's up, you know, my life for all the reasons. Someone lent me $1,000 and I needed it. And but then on the flip side of that, I softened and I learned to become reliant in different ways over time, which has made me a better friend, a better person, a better coach, better. It improved me. So this idea, and I know it comes from fear. I'm not good enough. I'm this, I'm that, whatever, you know, but I would say lean into that because we talked about last week, I know you weren't here, but interdependence is really how we expand. That's really how we get to the good stuff. And we can't say, oh, I'm not going to receive on this end. I'm not going to, you can't lift a box for me. Oh no, you know, you can't do that. And it's not, we can't compartmentalize. If we're going to push love away in one area, we're going to push it away across the board, whether we realize it or not. So that ability to allow interdependence to happen is really good. So I hope you will push up against that.
okay,
And let people help you.
mm-hmm.
And let some young stud muffin with muscles lift that box and say, yeah, cool. Sorry, Barry. Sorry. The one lone man. Okay. Excellent. Let me see how I'm doing on time. I'm going to take our break right now, and we'll come back and finish up and get to the rest. So everybody please go to the bathroom and do your duty now. And just sort of ruminate on this conversation, and we'll pick it up in about 10 minutes. Hi, I'm back. I know, Imelda, you're not quite back yet, but the other piece to your story, I know we talked about just moving forward, going against what you do. I mean, that's another way to get through things, just going in the direction that's opposite of what you've been doing, to just tear down the walls one by one. And if it's uncomfortable, that's probably a good thing. And then just moving into the spiritual piece. For me, I think when it finally settled in my system that everything is divine food, it doesn't, even those things that are uncomfortable, and how can I digest that and extract the minerals? It really helped a lot. So take that for what it's worth. And yes, I will send the PowerPoint out to everybody. And it just is easier than for me to pick and choose. Okay, so does anybody else want to comment on their ability to imagine love realized? And are you aware what gets in the way? Oh, Jackie, everything is divine what? Divine food. That all experiences, from my point of view, and as I said last week, try it on like a coat. You can take it off if it doesn't fit you. But the way I view things is that everything is divine food of life. And you know, if you've watched any of my Monday messages, you know that I look at the external reality as theater, that these are experiences for us to grow ourselves inside of, and it's not the experience, it's who we become because of it. And so if I'm having something uncomfortable happen to me and I'm like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I don't like this, that's resistance. It's more like, okay, why have I attracted this? What's in it for me? How is it serving me? Not like, oh, God had time, I want to make Phyllis's life miserable. No, it's like, okay, there's something in this. How can I grow myself around it and become something more because of it? Okie dokie, let's move on here. Okay, our second assignment last week was about picking a goal or a quality to embrace. And these were some of the examples. So become more open, more honest, less judgmental. And then to do at least one thing a day, small or large, that moves us in the direction of the goal or quality you want to embrace. So Imelda, I'm sorry to keep picking on you, but you had such good example.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume that something you could do in addition to what you already chose would be to let someone help you.
Yes. Okay.
But anyhow, so what did you guys pick? What did you guys settle on? You can text me or unmute, whatever you like.
This is Jackie. I'm trying to be less judgmental.
Oh, what does that look like?
Well, it feels vulnerable because you can formulate an opinion pretty quickly. And I guess it comes down to like protecting yourself.
Yeah. So, and in your life, how has that shown up though? How has that shown up? I mean, it's like you're critical of others, or what do you do? What does that look like?
Yeah, I'm critical of others. I think others pick up on that energy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's become apparent like in workplace situations. I'm actually having one right now, but you know,
Tell us about it.
So I changed careers. In midlife, I went back to school to become a clinical mental health counselor.
Right.
right now I'm acquiring hours to become fully licensed so that I can get, paneled by insurance companies. Sorry, I'm recovering from COVID and it's wreaking havoc on my voice. But so I have this conference call with, he happens to be the CEO of our company, and he's very obnoxious is the only way I can describe him, and full of himself. And even though the thing is over Zoom, like I think he says inappropriate things to me, and to others too, but for some reason I'm like his target. And he says that he does this to make us better, but I don't learn like that. So where I see my resistance is like acknowledging that I don't learn from people that treat people like this, and that it's in my power to find other supervision.
Well, yes. And well, in the workplace, I mean, unless you have an HR department that actually functions well,
Yeah.
then you are, in a sense, at the mercy of that toxic interaction. However, it doesn't mean that you can't continue to work on your reactivity to an asshole. Meaning, if they're an asshole, they're an asshole. I mean, God doesn't care. It's like, yeah, you're an asshole right now. So it is what it is. But you don't have to feel, I mean, I think it'd be a really good exercise to work on not letting him take your peace. He can go, oh, here he's doing him. He's doing him again. And just sort of have a layer of protection, that's what I would call it, what I would be doing, so that the energy hits the layer of protection but doesn't come into your being. That would be a really good exercise.
And I actually thought about calling him and saying, listen, do you have a minute to discuss the last interaction? Because over this Zoom session, he said something, and I guess I had a look on my face, but I wasn't making a face. But he said to everyone in the group, "Oh, Jackie just said fuck you to me," without actually
with your mind. I'm sorry.
And I was like, I didn't say that.
No, you should have said no. I said motherfucker, not fuck you. I'm kidding. I mean, that's my way to be humorous, and sorry for the offensive language, those of you with sensitivities, but yeah, I understand. And in the workplace, there's a little more, you have to dance around a little bit more. I get that. So, but if there's any way to respond with surrender, not even combativeness, to say, I didn't say that. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, you misunderstood me. I actually said, you don't even have to say you're sorry. I get tired of women saying they're sorry, but, oh, you misheard or something. What I actually said was whatever it was. So, but the whole goal is so that it doesn't rob you of your peace, or that you don't feel like, oh, I've just been attacked. Even if you've been attacked, don't let the attack energy come into your realm if possible. It may not be possible. It takes practice.
So I think I'm just going to get him to sign off on the hours that he has supervised me, because I don't really need that many more anyway, and just, figure out a way to get the other hours. Like, I don't want to deal with him. It's unpleasant. And I don't have to.
Well, you don't have to, but as you continue to navigate the ending of this relationship, I would just encourage you to continue to not let it rob you of your peace. And we get to have discernment about who we want to hang out with and who we want to work with. I mean, that's fine. But I think it is a rich opportunity to not let it rob you of your own good feelings. Because to me, I think that's the greater injury, is that when someone's toxicity brings us down and we begin to behave or feel in ways that we don't want to behave or feel. So, but anyhow, thank you for sharing your work situations. That was an excellent example. But moving forward, I think the one thing you can do a day to become more vulnerable would be, what does that look like to you?
To be more honest with myself. Like, I do, you know, I have had opportunities and for love or whatever, and
Or
I've shut,
whatever.
I've shut them out. I honestly do think that I need to like change my vibration.
So that falls under the category. I mean, you're falling into several categories, and it's more healing, support like this. I mean, submitting to shifting on different levels than just the emotional level, but including the emotional level. And also some practice, kind of like Imelda, just doing it different and going past, I'm going to engage. This person is interested in me. I'm going to try it on, see how it feels, and maybe I'll move toward this person or away, but I'm going to try it. And then continue to enrich your spiritual perspective to give yourself a larger frame to work inside of. So, just give yourself to it. You want to, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm so happy you're recovering from COVID.
Thank you.
All right, Jackie, to be continued. Let's see. Less judgmental. Sonia says, I picked a few things: surrender the present moment, beautiful, improve my health, take the NP test, focus on myself more. Good. Going towards yourself is never a wrong choice. And now I chose improve health by having more movement in my day. Awesome. So daily I have been taking walks with the intention of building stamina. Perfect. And by the way, Sonia, explain or chat what that looks like in a day-to-day, because this is something, like Anel gave a tangible. I am walking daily to build stamina. That's the thing I'm adding. So you said yours sounds more like overall goals: improve my health, take the NP test. Those are things, works in progress. Surrender to the present moment. Are you doing that on a daily basis? I'm going to make sure that 8, 12, and 5 o'clock, I'm going to center myself and make sure I've surrendered. I mean, how does that show up as a to-do? Because this is an action step. Let's see, Sally, become reacquainted with myself so I can identify what I want for myself. And again, same to you as I asked Sonia, what does that look like? How do you become reacquainted with yourself? Hello, self. I mean, is that journaling? Is that getting back into old hobbies or interests? What does that mean on a day-to-day? What is a tangible you can do in that regard? Elizabeth, I picked being more open. It's funny, I just think you're super open, but okay, meeting people's eyes. Oh, that's right, you're an entertainer. That's right, so that's different. Meeting people's eyes and being the first to say hello and smile in the grocery store, at the pool, everywhere. It's fun. And I feel more connected to every living thing, honestly, and way more spacious inside. So that's just a mindset. And let me just validate that for me. That's a mindset you're using to be more open. So you're holding yourself to a new standard. Is that something that you're going to be able to duplicate on a daily basis if it's not a specific tangible? Anyhow, but let me know. Susie, I surrendered to the present moment by taking moments of peace throughout the day. Awesome. I pray over my water to give moments of presence, silent meditation instead of guided. And when I feel myself spiral, I focus on deep breaths. So you're, again, you guys, I'm clarifying that you're doing it on purpose and in addition to a response to your life. And Elizabeth, I'm open with people I'm not physically attracted to. Open, I mean, are you taking your shirt off? What do you mean?
No. I mean, the thing I was trying to do, I noticed that I'm very friendly and open with people that I don't feel Like if it's not a good looking man who I would be attracted to, I shut down. But if I don't shut down. But if it is like a man I might be attracted to, then I just notice that I have this instinctive recoil. So I've been trying to treat everyone with the same degree of openness instead of just being friendly to people who are, you know, like 60 years older than me, or, you know, someone who I wouldn't be physically attracted to.
So you said you recoil when it's someone you are attracted to?
Yeah, I noticed that I do that, and it's kind of scary that I probably have been doing that for a long time.
Why? I mean, are you like, is that your shy side coming out, or is that you're like, what if they don't like me? And what is that?
I think it's fear. I think I've had such a hard time, and like, you know, divorce and my last relationship, which you know all about, that I've kind of shut down over the last 9 months.
So, okay, well, that would make sense that you're emotionally not super available. So it's just this period of time in your life that's been that way.
Yeah, but I think it's also, but even before that, I think for whatever reason, I haven't seen men who are, you know, financially successful or, you know, healthy, physically vibrant, necessarily as partners. And it's, you see what I mean? Like I've been attracted to people, I've pulled in people who have issues, and I want to know why. So
what's your best guess?
I mean, probably, yeah, see, this is the $2 million question. I think it's probably, I mean, I think fear has, like, I've been projecting for a long time this, you know, savior kind of thing. Like I'm, you know, I want to help people. And so I don't know, or I can fix it, or I can.
So you're a walking rehab center. Nice to know. Where do we sign up? I'm teasing you. Well, that bears more consideration. And it might be you don't like to be vulnerable either. You and Jackie don't like to be vulnerable either. And you do have this lovely, vivacious personality, which is very, you know, tons of charisma, and people are going to be attracted to you and keeps you in the superior position. No one can touch you if you're bigger and in a superior role. I don't know, just some ideas. But yeah, I mean, and all of this relationship stuff, it's all about vulnerability. It's being able to just, and it's about being able to be you and the true you, whatever that is, and just show up that way, and people can have their reactions, whatever they are. Claudia, acceptance versus judgment of both myself and others. And what does that look like on a day-to-day, Claudia? How do you practice that? How do you move the needle on that?
Yeah, I've had to really do a lot of work in that area. It's especially on myself. So what I've done is incorporate meditation more. I used to do it randomly, and now it's a practice. I also use tapping to soften how I look at, you know, myself in situations that have, you know, affected me.
So
go ahead.
You've been doing this ongoingly, or this is something new?
Yeah, well, recently I started, I don't know, a month or two ago. And it just, and I've done some shamanic work and journeying and things like that to try and understand it. And, you know, where is it coming from? Because it kind of just wells up within me, and it feels like I'm overtaken and out of control. And that then kicks the fear in about how am I going to control this? So I found that the meditation works the best, but in the short term, like in the immediate moment, just coming back to the present and catching myself and reframing what I'm thinking, what my thoughts are, saying to myself. And that gives me peace, to just at least reframe it. Gives me peace in the moment.
Good. Well, and for everybody, this type of an exercise is, I love to marry concepts with physical activity because it reinforces it. And the goal is to do something that you're not doing. But if there isn't anything else that you can't add in, I don't know, just think about that we're trying to stretch out on our status quo. And our status quo may already be including a lot of goodies. But if the more awareness towards tapping or whatever it is to be more accepting or less judgmental, and it's actually moving the needle, I think that's the measure we're looking for. Thanks, Claudia and Janice. I've been doing yoga and barbell classes 3 times a week. Did you just start that as a means to progress towards the goal?
Yeah. Well, I think I've been doing it more consciously. In other words, being able to focus on not just the fact of accomplishing a pose that I wasn't able to do previously, but the fact that it strengthens me and it makes me more confident. And I think being a confident woman never hurts when you're trying to attract someone. So that's
is confidence what you're trying to embrace?
Confidence and yeah, I'm believing in myself. I'm older, and in this society, in this culture, being older is, you might as well damn near be dead, because it's not highly thought of. And so I guess I'm trying to compensate for that, if you will, by showing that, yeah, I still can be physically fit and function at a higher level because I am engaged in meaningful physical activity on a routine basis.
So I'm just going to play devil's advocate a tiny bit, and I love that for you. I love that you like to be physically active. I think that's a gift we can all give ourselves. I just want to caution that we don't lean into something from a scarcity point of view, that I'm doing this thing that's enhancing my life because someone may perceive that I'm not enough if I don't.
I guess in all honesty, there is some element of that. I guess in many ways, I try to buck the general notion of society. You know, being an older woman in this culture is no joke. I mean, it's not easy. And so to be able to not...
Wait a second. I disagree 1,000%.
Oh, well, you should be in my world.
Well, no, you should be in my world. I have 39-year-old guys who would be happy to go out with me and try. So whatever, it's not the number. And I'm going to take you to task on that a bit because I want you to consider what I'm saying. You can reject it, but I want you to consider it.
Okay, okay.
Part of attraction, part of receiving is about not buying into limitation as a bias you want to accept. If someone else wants to live by a bias, let them. You don't have to. You don't have to ascribe to that or allow that to push your buttons in some way to limit how you want to show up in the world. Yeah, we want to be physically fit. We want to be healthy. We want to look the best we can look. But it's the energy that we bring forward that says, I'm here to play. I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to experience my life. And I don't really care if you're 25 or 75. Now, depending on what you want your life to look like, that may change because your life, you know, if you want a partner, you might want someone in your peer group. Hello. But the idea in the energy piece of attraction, we have to know we're limitless beings. And that's going to make us more magnetic. And if we're being dragged into limited thinking that let society say, you know, the biases determine how you're going to feel about yourself or what you think is possible, that's a road to nowhere. And it doesn't matter how fit you get, how many plastic surgery treatments you get, it doesn't matter. It'll never be enough. So I'm just going to encourage you to go the other direction and give yourself permission to feel your divine, feminine, sexy, rockin', you're an amazing woman vibe. Any man, quite frankly, is, excuse my language, fucking lucky to be with a woman. We're amazing. They should kiss the ground we walk on because we're amazing. Men are so one-dimensional and we're multi-dimensional. We give them space and breadth and dimension that they'll never experience. So they're lucky to have you in any condition at any age. And I just want you to take that in and consider that. And it will make you more magnetic. It will make you more attractive, in addition to all the other things you do to take good care of your physical person. Just
right.
saying.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm advocating for you, not against you, FYI. Sonia, getting back into weight training and taking a multivitamins, studying for a certain amount of the time, trying to be less in my head and more in my body. All I would say to that is, if you can, make it, schedule it at 11 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm weight training. My phone is set to ping me at 10 if I haven't taken my multivitamin. We're wanting to make sure that we are intentional about the change. Bhavya, I have taken up playing the piano, yay, and playing and listening to love songs. It turns me on and brings me in resonance with love. I got myself a keyboard, fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. And I'm assuming that was to bring you closer to yourself again.
Yes, I mean, it's been like, I have been wanting to play live music for a long time, and it's like, oh, what am I gonna do? And keyboard was always, it's an investment, it's big, you can't transport it, blah, blah, blah. And I finally settled on it, and I couldn't be happier. I've been practicing like 3 hours a day.
Love it. That is so
like, Don't You Make My Brown Eyes Blues and all like these cheesy songs. I love it. And like
so
putting a swing in it and the harmonies, it kind of like, and I have been so alienated from love and believing in love and romantic love that just even kind of getting a little kick out of that sentiment and the music, it's just already a big step for me, really.
It's so exciting. I can feel it in your voice and your energy, and that's the stuff. When we're in our joy, when we're feeling aliveness in our energy, that is magnetic. That will draw people to us. And when it's something that makes us feel more like us, that's the hot zone. So way to go. That's exciting, Bhavya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Cheryl, I choose to do things out of my comfort zone. I started a new job and I'm being more social because I can be shy. Give us an example of being out of your comfort zone, and congrats on the new job.
Thank you.
What's an example?
So today I was out of my comfort zone reading the letter.
Oh,
that was one, but at work, to say, usually if I start a new job, I'm so focused on the task and the things I have to learn. I don't socialize, I don't take time. And also, usually I will go in and I'm picking up on everybody's energy, and I'm knowing people as I watch, and I'm kind of picking it up and taking it in. This time it's different. I'm going in, I'm protected. Sometimes I'm putting my roses up and things like that, but I'm not letting that get through. So I'm able to go up and I'm able to talk to people like, hi, I'm Cheryl, I'm new. And for me before, no. And how I see all this will help me as I go out and meet the soulmate, is that I'm already going to have that sense of comfort talking to somebody new, having that like casual, practicing my listening skills, eye contact. So that's my That's what I'm doing on a daily basis.
Way to go, sister.
Yay.
I love it. Sally says, I've established a daily meditation schedule, reading spiritual study books at bedtime, and I had a Reiki session today for the first time. A Reiki session won't be daily, but it gives me tools to use. Fantastic. Elizabeth, tell it, Phyllis. Yeah, right on. You go, Phyllis. Mary, yep. Being an older woman and those 39-year-old dudes, you getting all this, Barry? Clap, clap, clap. Joanne, yeah, it's pretty funny. I have always wanted to sing, Mary, I've always wanted to sing in a church choir, and I was the only one in 6th grade that did not make chorus group. Continuation. Is that what you're doing? Continue, and then tell me. My boyfriend moved out in November, so I signed. Oh my gosh! And I started my own advisory company. So you're already in process. And how are you liking it? How are you liking it? The singing class, the choir.
Well, thank God it's on Zoom and it's one-on-one. I just have a singing coach. And she told me there wasn't anyone that she couldn't help learn how to sing.
That's beautiful.
So, you know, I'm in finance. So I like structure. I like to be in control.
Yeah.
So my singing coach, I just love her energy, just different color hair. She's just very different from me. And just lately, my boyfriend moved out, so I'm working by myself, living by myself, and I love music. And and it might sound small, but for me to like actually take the singing class is huge, and it's just, it's fun.
I love
And
it.
then, I used to work for a lot of tech companies. I had a great job. More tech companies keep calling me. And I just said, if not now, when? So I quit. And instead of working for entrepreneurs, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm advising entrepreneurs, and we'll see how it goes. So very different.
Well, and you can feel, Mary, that just the texture of the energy as you speak, how alive it is. And I know your heart is what it is from when you have a transition with a partner.
Yeah.
But there's an aliveness to you. You've got to be feeling it.
Yeah, and it was just like, it's been so helpful this morning. It was really hard because you give me a homework assignment, and you know me, fellas, I will do it. I couldn't do the love letter. Like, I couldn't think of anything. And so, it is what it is. I just gave myself the permission just to be quiet. And I took notes of what other people said. And I think that's just the healing part. I've been attracting people, great guys. I mean, they're great guys. They're just not available the way I need them to be. And so, and a lot of times I keep myself so busy that I'm not available to myself. So I get that. But listening to how other people wrote love letters to themselves, it was just really good for me to just listen to it and just let myself heal. I'll take my little singing classes.
Singing is enormously healing. So
yeah.
I love it. And you're so in the right place. I mean, you're so on track. It just everything feels just perfect.
Yeah.
If there is such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Joanne wants you to know you are a darling, Mary.
Oh, thank you. And whoever talked about the age thing, I totally get it. I've never paid attention to age until now. And so on my iPhone, I actually have a list, and I have been just putting down people who are over 50. And it's amazing, like how many powerful, successful people, in my personal life, and famous people who are over 50. It was so helpful to hear a news reporter say that Kamala Harris is just getting started in her career. She's just getting started. We were born the same year. And I was like, wow, like it's the limitation you place on yourself, right? Yeah. And there's, Michelle Obama was born. We're the same age. you know? So I just keep a list of people who are over 50, and I've also been keeping a list of people who are single. So it just helps to know, like, when I'm having a down day, I just look at my list. There's
Good.
a lot of people, you know, we have good company, right?
Well,
So
and
thank you.
yes, it's fantastic. I mean, you're always proactive about managing life as it comes to you, and that's awesome. And you know, bias is part of the world we live in
Yeah.
as human beings,
Mhm.
but we're more than human beings.
Mhm.
And when we aspire to the higher mindset, then we can choose what we're going to identify with. It doesn't mean that bias doesn't exist, but we
Yeah.
don't have to behave to cater to the bias. That's my overall point. But thank you, Mary, and I just love how your energy
Thank you.
feels.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so let's see where we are. So Barry, you already said about this. Is there physical space in your home for a partner, for an overnighter, a toothbrush, a change of clothes? We know there's not, but you're going to start imagining that could be.
Well, wait a minute.
Oh.
Well, actually, I have an empty chest of drawers and have had for like 8 or 9 years.
Is there a pathway to get there?
Yeah, well, that's the issue.
Okay. Well, it needs to be welcoming to a certain extent. Well, but it's really the awareness. Okay, if someone's coming over, then they're not going to see whatever, or they are going to see whatever, or there's a place that they'll feel welcome, or they can have, it's really that awareness that there is a room or there's a place. So.
And on the subject of age.
Well, speedy up, but yeah, go say what you want to say, but yeah.
Well, I've actually realized that I actually have self-limited to younger people that sometimes I have an incredible heart attraction to, whether or not it's viable or not. I limit myself because I won't pursue somebody at a certain age because I think it's unseemly, or they have to almost pursue me. So I need to undo that and realize hell, I think I'm about 39 or 40, in my head. Anyway, that's just it's an interesting point of view, and I realize actually I've got a whole lot more. Every indication is I've got a whole lot more years, like another couple of generations even. So I need to get my head under my ass about that.
You said it.
And my ears were burning, Phyllis.
You said it. I didn't. Well,
thank you, Elizabeth.
Truth be told, I wouldn't want to be with a 39-year-old. I don't want to say, yeah, I used to watch Father Knows Best when I was a kid, and I'm like, what? It's Father Knows Best. Anyhow, okay, so physical space. And we've touched on some of this a little bit. How'd you do with that? And are you moving towards the healing work or the personal cleanup and doing the things you need to do to feel confident? Are you heading in the direction? And I think some of you have already answered that, but it does correlate to readiness. And readiness is a word I've been using forever, because my experience with clients and in my own life, but when someone is truly ready, meaning they're healed enough, they are available, mind, body, spirit, and the physicality, and they're able to receive, it all comes together, and it's somewhat effortless. And so we have to heal enough so that we're not, disqualifying potential wonderful candidates. We have to be able to look someone in the eye and just really look at them and see them and say, is there a thing here? Is there something? We have to have that confidence. And we want to be away, far enough away from the scarcity and the self-doubts that we can show up as ourselves without apology. And all of that begins to talk about my readiness, you know, and am I far enough away from my programming about my life, and am I willing to now write the rules of my relationship moving forward? It doesn't have to be defined by societal norms or anything else. So readiness. I'm going to skip ahead just a bit while you guys ponder that, because it's the same question, because we may or may not do the meditation and there's our break. But it goes with this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's just 10 being, I'm all the way there, and 0 being, I don't know. I'm not even out the gate. How possible do you think love is? How much can you imagine it? How ready do you feel? I mean, that's kind of 2 questions, but it's the same. Are you ready, or are you like halfway there? And I think it's important that we know where we are, because we have a generic idea. Okay, I want a relationship. I want a partner. Well, where are you on the readiness scale to actually show up the way you need to show up to bring it in? Jackie, I feel, wait a second, that's good. I feel like this is my healing, 10. Well, I'm not going to be the one to disagree with you. And we'll talk again, I'm sure, but you didn't sound like a 10. I mean, you're a 10, girl. You are a 10, okay? But are you really at a 10? And the only reason I poke at you a bit is I just think we have to have an accurate baseline, or close enough. So maybe you are. Maybe all this is been salve in the wounds. Bobia, 5. Sonia, 8. 7. I know it is there, but I want to level up so that I bring in that high love. Oh, man. Okay, 7. Sally, 3. Healing first. Anel, 7. Sure. And I know this is clearly not scientific, but it's just interesting to hear where you guys think you are. And maybe that number will change, and it will change as the class progresses. Barry, 6 to 7, Imelda, 8 to 9. Good, good, good. And this is just something for you, as you know, pardon me, next week, when we get into really reclaiming and truly healing, you know, those numbers can shoot up or change again. And Janice says 5. Okay. And you can tell me, but it's also telling yourself, so you know what's on your to-do list, and you can work toward that as well. So let's go over these touch points now. And this is a journal possibility, I'm calling it. And these are things for you to think about in the next week. How much does guilt and obligation play a role in how you form relationships? You know, a lot of women, we've been trained to take care of everybody and accommodate. So, and that shows up in guilt and obligation and all that. So it's always nice to see where that is. Then also releasing expectations, ourselves and others, and just letting ourselves be present in a situation. And we'll talk more about that as further in the course, but a lot of times we women go into situations with a whole laundry list. You got to do this, you got to do that, it has to be this, it has to be that. And that can be problematic in a way, but releasing expectations so we can be present in the moment. Facing our neediness that is born from wounding. You know, I want it, give me that relationship. Are we feeling a neediness, or are we actually looking for interdependence? What is it that drives our desire or our fear of being single? Develop the courage to show your true self, risk disappointment. You know, when we are strong in ourselves and we just want to embrace our life and ourselves, we show up, and people will either embrace us as well and have fun with us, or they won't. But we don't want to fear the disappointment of someone not wanting to play with us, that we don't do that part. It's all a joyful part of expanding ourselves and allowing ourselves to have the life experience. And yeah, so take your temperatures on that. Honor yourself above accommodation to others. That should always be your navigation point. Not like, oh, me, 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 me. No, it's like honoring self, the life that God gave me, the spiritual being that I am, coming here to realize myself and become conscious. And I want to be conscious in how I interact with others. That's what I mean by honor self. And then you're going to be more authentic and real and with others. Embrace your interests and develop yourself, like many of you have talked about, picking up your old talents and interests. That's just so incredible. That's the direction. And the more we go toward ourselves and love ourselves and connect to all those juicy parts of ourselves, that's also what helps magnetize that person that's going to write that letter to us that matches those words. Because we're like a beacon, it's like a light, like the lighthouse, and it just kind of it magnetizes towards us, and that's an energy game thing, as well as it can happen just out in the world doing you. And then I'd like to know why some of you haven't moved forward to cultivate new relationships, or you want to know really why you haven't. Because any of us today could go out and say, I'm going to go get one today. I'm going to go make it happen today. But let's really be honest with ourselves about why we're not. What we're afraid of. Are we available? Are we tired? Are we not healed enough? So do some of this if you want to. If any of this resonates with you, I would encourage you to journal around some of this. And this part of the course, week 2 and 3, if any of you have the book, this is the deepest, intense work of the process. It's not all like this. We get into more fun elements, but I think when we're trying to shift, we're trying to expand our awareness, we're trying to change our energy, we have to do somewhat of a deep dive into our status, our state of being, and just up-level it enough so that we're showing up differently, emotionally and otherwise in life. Any questions about this? It's fine. You got to go. You got to go. Have fun at the game. All right. So let's talk about the assignments for next week. And if we have time, we'll finish with the meditation. So I have to move this out of the way. Describe the greatest injury or pattern of injuries that have occurred in your life. I married the same person twice. Not the same person, the same type of person. That would be an example of a pattern, how I chose something the same way. Who inflicted these injuries on you? Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a friend, who knows? And what did you tell yourself about those injuries? Was it your fault? Do you have to be a certain way because have you trained yourself to be whatever, accommodating, a victim, whatever? Are you able now to see how those injuries have motivated your choice in partnership? I know a typical therapist might say, Jackie, you can back me up on this, but we usually pick elements of our parents and our partners on an unconscious level. We pick things that are familiar. It doesn't mean all of our relationships are motivated by our parents, but that's an example of, can you see how the past drove your choices in partnership? So it's very important. And I know with any partner I have, it's one of the first questions I ask. I try not to interrogate, but I'll say, so how did it come to be that I want to know that someone has insight about how their progression has occurred and why. And I think we need that for ourselves. And now, how free do you feel from the weight of past injuries? I think we all have a ways to go. We can't and don't have to be completely free, but we have to be free enough that we can function effectively in a relationship. Our partner needs that, and we need that. Assignment 5, sacred wounds. It's how have it served me? I've been through some crap. It's been hard, and it's brought me to my knees at times, but how have these experiences served me? How have they been sacred in my life? What have they given me? And then once you come full circle on all of that, do the release ceremony. If you don't have the book, it's fine. But essentially, you want to put this information that you've gathered from the journaling and the sacred wounds, specifically the sacred wounds, but write a letter, burn it, go out and dance at the beach, some way to bring an end to that experience, to that moment of reflection, of agitation, and then surrender to a higher truth about your pain. And then release it. I'm just going to be done with it. And that's what I'd like you to do. Any questions about all of this I've thrown at you? So good. Then let's take a minute to end with a meditation to get us in a nice place, the attuning to love. And when we say attuning to love, you can think of this as a person or as divine consciousness, like we began today going into the light of our being. It can be one or both. So you're sitting up straight, arms uncrossed, resting easily. Close your eyes and relax your entire body. Starting at the bottom of your feet and working your way up through the body, your toes, your ankles, calves, knees, thighs, until you reach the top of your head. Release any tension you find. Breathe in and out normally without any effort, with your mouth slightly opened and at rest. Feel yourself breathing, but do not try to regulate your breath in any way. Now, imagine what a relationship with the one might feel like. Feel like. Don't try to picture what your partner looks like or who they are in the world. Instead, try to imagine what it might feel like to actually have this relationship. Imagine this person sitting in front of you, breathing in unison with your breath, their heart beating in unison with your heartbeat. Imagine laughing freely, crying freely, and telling them a secret about yourself, knowing that you will not be judged, but only valued and loved. Imagine what it's like to know that you are this safe, this appreciated, and this cherished. This is what you're looking for. This is what you're opening yourself to. And throughout the day, instead of assessing people primarily with your mind, try dropping down into your heart by asking yourself, how does this person actually feel to me? Warm and welcoming, intimidating and angry, sad and lonely, joyful and fun. But use your feelings and intuition to assess the connection that is between you and those you come in contact with. And tonight, before bed, take out a journal or make a mental note about your thoughts and impressions on your interactions with others. And assess the connections you made with others, not from external things about them like sex, race, age, education, financial status, but from the way the relationship between the two of you actually felt to you. 2 parts there, and you can just open your eyes when you're ready. Love is out there in abundance, and we're moving toward it. So thank you guys all for sharing so beautifully and vulnerably and lovely. You're just so fun. And I hope you have a wonderful day and great weekend. And mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you, thank you. All right, guys. See you.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.